My name is Nolak. I am 39 years old and one of the members of the United States of the Galaxy's Special Forces. Some call it an honor, others call it destiny. I'm not sure what the difference is, but here I am, traveling through space on a mission that I feel is going to change everything. Where am I now? Well, 2167. A future very far from what Earth, my home planet, used to be. Earth, the place I never even saw with my own eyes. But I know its history, the stories they told me, the stories of my parents, my grandparents. They survived what many call the end of Earth. I never lived that day. I didn't see the explosions. I didn't see the cities fall, but the marks of war are everywhere. In space, in the colonies, in what we were forced to become. The ancient nations that once formed Earth are now empires in vast space. The United States, China, Russia, and other nations no longer represent just the countries they once were, but interplanetary powers. The United States, which has now become the United States of the Galaxy, established its dominance over Mars, while other nations expanded to Jupiter's moons, creating new colonies and alliances throughout the solar system. However, despite the grandeur of the new frontiers, the marks of war never faded. The fire that consumed the planet left scars not only on the landscapes, but on the memories of the people and the whispers that run through the farthest corners of the galaxy. In the year 2030, the world was at war. The war no one expected, but everyone feared. A war that started with words, with threats, but soon became something much more real. Nuclear bombs, mass destruction. The sky lit up by death. Earth, my home, was consumed by violence. The great powers faced off, and in the end, the last traces of life began to be wiped out. The world we knew was torn apart, and the consequences went beyond what anyone could imagine. I know what happened because I grew up hearing these accounts. My parents and grandparents told me everything. How the last days of Earth were marked by absolute chaos, the desperate race for survival, the evacuation ships rising into space, trying to escape a hell that already consumed every inch of the surface. Some made it, others never left. Explosions, the end of everything known. But there was still a chance to escape. Some survived, escaped to the space colonies, to the moon, to Mars, to Jupiter's moons. But what was left of our world, what remained, was just a reflection of what we once were. Earth, the home of so many lives. Now just a distant point in the past. The stories I heard speak of a war, not only against each other, but against ourselves. Humanity trying to escape its own destruction, trying to find a new beginning, a new home among the stars. That is what brought us here. We survived. But did we really learn the lesson? I didn't live that. I didn't live the fall of Earth, but I know enough to understand it wasn't the end. It was only the beginning. And as I look at everything that remains, everything we've managed to achieve, I wonder, are we still capable of being human amidst so much loss? The sound of explosions and the chaos of destruction echo in Nolak's mind as he reflects on the past. The screen begins to pull away from Earth, now a distant sphere, surrounded by an aura of destruction and pain. I wasn't there in 2030. I didn't see Earth consumed by flames. I didn't see the end. But I grew up hearing the stories. Stories from those who lived through the apocalypse, from those who survived when everything collapsed. Earth disappeared, but humans didn't surrender. The first to escape, to flee to the stars. Left in evacuation ships, many didn't make it. But those who did fled to the space stations, to the moon, to Mars. Mars was our new home. Its red dust became our future. And when Mars was no longer enough, Jupiter's moons became refuges. The true new beginning came with space folding. With the technology that somehow saved us, we managed to explore beyond the solar system, opening up new worlds to colonize. But even with all this progress, something remained. Something that doesn't fade, the pain of what we lost. The emptiness of a lost planet, a home that will never return. Earth is not here, but its scars remain. We survived. But did we really manage to escape from what we were? The space station floats silently in orbit around Mars. Its huge metal structures gleam under the distant sunlight, while the vastness of space surrounds everything with a cold calm. The advanced technology that humanity has seized is impressive. But for me, the presence of Earth, which seems so distant, is still alive in the echoes of conversations and memories. Now, at 39, I am a man of few words, but these structures around me make me reflect. I walk through the station's corridors, observing the scientists and historians studying what's left of Earth, trying to understand the scars that still persist. Even after so much time, they talk about the advances of space folding, about how our interplanetary travels and new colonies among the stars made everything possible. The great ships and colonies floating on distant moons are our new homes. But even with all of this, something unsettles me. The scientists talk about evolution, and it's true. We managed to survive. We managed to rise up. But looking at this, I wonder, how much of our humanity did we lose in the process? Down on Earth, the sky might still burn. But here, the truth is cold and unchangeable. What we did was evolution, yes, but somewhere, there's always a question. How far did we go to move forward? As I walk through the galleries of the space station, I observe the displays and relics from the old Earth, broken pieces of a world that no longer exists. Faded photos of a civilization that believed in invincibility, buildings that are now just shadows of a glorious past. But humanity, as always, adapted, and with Earth's blood still fresh, it went beyond the stars. Mars was the first, of course. The colony that began as a distant hope became our home. We faced the hostility of the Red Planet, but now it is a center of science and trade, a testament to our determination. Then came the moons of Jupiter, Europa, Ganymede, Callisto, floating colonies in the void, each with its own peculiarities, but all connected by survival. Each new piece of land conquered was a victory, but also a reminder of what we lost. Then we discovered space folding, the quantum leap that took us beyond the solar system. In just a few years, the impossible became possible. Time and space were no longer barriers, but bridges to new worlds, new encounters. We began exploring distant galaxies, finding civilizations we never imagined existed. And as all this happened, we knew Earth, with its scars from war, had become only a memory, an insignificant point in deep space. We folded space, we folded time, and finally, we surpassed the stars. But we're not the only ones. Somewhere out there, something watches us, waiting to see how far we'll go. They know what happened to Earth, and, as always, they wait for the right moment to act. The conference room of the station is silent, the tension in the air palpable. Scientists and station leaders observe the data on their screens, analyzing the latest measurements from the edges of the known universe. Everything seems calm, but the stillness is an illusion. I know this, and everyone in the room knows it too. The universe is never truly calm. Suddenly, an interruption. The central screen flashes, and an encrypted message appears, coming from a remote satellite. It's unusual, but it's not the first time we've received strange signals. However, something about this message is different. It's not just space noise. It's not a transmission error. The urgency is in every character. The voice of the station leader echoes, calling for silence. I approach the screen and begin to decipher the message. It appears in parts, like a puzzle assembling itself before me. The first line is clear, but the more I read, the more disturbing the message becomes. The Obsidian Horde is coming. I read softly. They are not like the others. They seek destruction, not conquest. Prepare yourselves. The entire room freezes. The name Obsidian Horde is enough to send a chill down the spine of anyone who has studied military history. They are not like the other enemies we've faced. They don't want domination. They don't want territory. They want annihilation. They come to erase everything we know, everything we are. There are no negotiations. There is no surrender. I stop. The message still on the screen. The sound of my breathing louder than I'd like. The silence in the room is heavy, almost suffocating. Everyone is waiting for something. Maybe an explanation, maybe a solution. But I know what it is. A war. Not just another fight for territory. The war for survival. I slowly turn to the scientists and leaders present, feeling the weight of responsibility. I can't show weakness now. They need someone with the strength to deal with this. The war is not over, I say calmly. It was just waiting for the right moment to begin again. The room of the Galactic Federation is cold, the metal walls gleaming under the intense light. There is no room for failure here. The commander of the Federation, a serious-looking man, watches me with steady, emotionless eyes. The kind of gaze only someone with his experience can have. He knows the weight of what is about to be said, and I know it too. The room is filled with leaders from different races and scientists who, until recently, were immersed in debates about humanity's technological advancements. Now, the mood has completely changed. The threat is real, and we all know it. You are one of our best explorers. Nolak, says the commander, his voice firm, but with an urgency that cannot be ignored. The universe depends on your ability to unite the races. Vraxen will just be the beginning. We cannot fail. I take a deep breath. Vraxen, an unknown alien planet, a world of crystals, where the local civilizations are powerful but distrustful. Convincing these races to fight together after everything that's happened, won't be easy. But the alternative is worse. I understand, I say, maintaining my calm. But you know this isn't just a negotiation mission. It's a survival mission. The commander doesn't respond, but his eyes confirm what everyone already knows. The Obsidian Horde won't wait. We won't have time to hesitate. The others in the room rise and begin to discuss the mission's details. The tension in the air is palpable, but at the same time, there is determination. Each of them understands what is at stake. Each of us has a role to play. This is not just a diplomatic mission. It's a fight for survival. The commander approaches and places a hand on my shoulder. The Federation has entrusted you with an immense responsibility, Nolak. Not just the survival of our galaxy, but the future of our entire species. He's right. The war we faced in the past was just a shadow. Now, the real threat is here, and we can no longer live in the past. If we don't unite the civilizations, if we don't defeat the Obsidian Horde, everything we've built will be at risk. I grab the mission data folder and take it to the console. The transport ship is already being prepared. I don't have time anymore. Every second that passes is one less second to save what's left of everything we know. I'll leave immediately, I say firmly, looking at the commander. We won't fail. The sound of my command echoes through the room, and the decision is made. The mission starts now. The responsibility I carry has never been so heavy. I am no longer just an explorer. I am the last line of defense against the end of our existence. The ship is ready for takeoff. The sound of the engines powering up reverberates through the hangar. But my mind is far from here. I look at Earth, now a distant sphere, covered by dark clouds and visible cracks on the planet. Humanity, which fought so hard and rebuilt itself, now seems small in the face of the infinite space awaiting me. Whatever happens out there, I am the one responsible for taking the first step. The ship's fuel is transferred, and the crew prepares. I don't need anyone to tell me what to do. Every movement is a meticulously rehearsed preparation for the war to come. But I know, with a certainty that runs through my veins, that this war will be different from any I've seen. We're no longer just fighting for survival. We're fighting to ensure the universe has a future. I place my hand on the back of the ship and look again at the spot where Earth should be. The horizon is beginning to darken as the ship positions for takeoff. Everything around me, all this technology, the lives depending on this mission, all of it is the price of our survival. With my mind focused, I take a deep breath and speak, almost in a whisper, more to myself than to any other living being. Whatever is out there, I'll find it. But this mission, this war, is something bigger than all of us. The pilot's command voice, already preparing for launch, is like a curtain falling on the final scene of an act. The lights around me slowly fade, the ship begins to rise, and Earth disappears into the vast void. One last glimpse of what we were, of what we lost. Down below, the planet that was once our home vanishes into infinite space. And with it, the cycle of Earth comes to an end. The journey begins now. The music swells in intensity, and I am launched into deep space. The sound of the engines is muffled by the silence of the cosmos. There's nothing more to say. There is only the future, the mission, and the uncertainty of everything that lies ahead. In the next episode, Nolak arrives at Vraxen, a crystal planet, where he will meet a mysterious civilization that will need to be convinced to join the fight against the Obsidian Horde. Don't miss it.